Good afternoon, YouTube, or should I say good evening. I want to share some astral projection experiences I've been having. So my latest was yesterday. Let me a second. Need some light here. Should have done this before I put the camera on. Sorry. So yeah, basically, it happened last night. I was lying in bed and I wasn't trying to astral project this time. I literally was just lying in bed and I woke up, but I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. Now, this is called sleep paralysis, if I've made that correctly. So what that means is when your body dreams, or when your mind dreams, your body paralyzes itself to prevent you from acting out your dreams. But when this happens, a lot of people get confused, don't know what it is, and they report nightmares or someone pushing down on them because they can't move because your mind can't interpret what's going on. Anyway, this happened to me, and this normally does happen before I astral project. So yeah, I went to sleep quite early last night, and I fell asleep with the TV on. So I was falling asleep, and then next thing I know, I'm awake. I'm aware that I'm awake, but I can't move. So I don't panic. I realise what this was, and I think I just need to sort of relax. I will come out of it eventually. Anyway, I start hearing this weird sort of popping sound in my head, and my body, I don't say I'm feeling anything, but I feel like really light. And as I'm feeling really light and I'm hearing this sort of popping sound, and it's really hard to explain. It's like a whizzing sound, or it's a bit like when you've got a radio and it's not quite tuned in properly. It's like hearing static. So on the old really TVs, if you guys remember this, on the old TVs, when you got the snow effect and the channels aren't tuned in, when you tune the channels in analog and they're not tuned in, you get a kind of snowy sort of sound. It's kind of like a radio when it's not tuned into a radio station properly. So anyway, I hear this sort of sound. I know what it is. I know I'm about to astral project. So I feel myself float up. I feel myself rise up. Suddenly, I literally, it's almost like a catapult out of my body. Really hard to explain. So I'm lying on the bed and I catapult and I land here. So it's almost like I dive out of my body like that. Anyway, I stand up and I see myself asleep and I can still hear my TV on. Anyway, so I realise what have happened, that I've astral projected. Now I know, like, if you do manage to astral project, what you're not meant to do is get like really excited it's happened, because then it gets your adrenaline in your body going up. So if your adrenaline in your body raises, that means then that you come out of the astral projection, because then your body basically comes out of that state. So I remain really calm. Anyway, so I stand up and I'm looking around, and yes, I can see myself asleep, but I can't see myself very clearly. So everything's still quite hazy. And I've known from what I've read in past experiences, sometimes when people tell you stories, like if you do manage to astral project, your sight's not always clear, or around you can't always see very clearly. So, and what you're meant to ask for is, if you say, not clarification, but if you meant to say clarity, I want clarity, it normally, like, everything then comes into focus. So I asked for this. So I'm in my room, but my room's slightly different. So this bedroom is slightly different. So where I got a TV bed, it has a different TV. And like where I've got that picture on the wall behind you, there's a different picture. This wardrobe isn't here. I've got a set of chest of drawers here. So it's my bedroom, but it's not my bedroom. Everything's slightly out of place. Now, if you read stories into astral projection, it's not an uncommon thing. A lot of people reported when they do astral project, sometimes they report they astral project, but like you can parallel astral project. So like you'll wake up in your room or your astral projection room, but it's not your room. It is your room, but it's not in this universe. People have been known to like astral project into parallel planes. So it means it's you're in the same space, but you're just in a different universe. So that's why everything was slightly different. So I'll make another topic on that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm focusing around my room, or not my room, it's slightly different. Anyway, I managed to walk out my door, but I thought I'm astral projecting, I could just walk through my door, but I can't, it's solid. Yeah, this sounds really weird. Even though I astral project, I can still grab hold of the door handle. I don't know how that works, but it's really weird. So I walk through my living room, and my living room's a different layout. Anyway, I managed to walk through my back door, and I live in apartments. So I'm walking along the path, exploring, and a couple with a young baby walks past, and the baby sees me giggling and pointing. And then the next thing I know, I feel like a shot of my alarm goes off. I wake up in my room, and as I've woken up, I hear the couple walk past my window, which is here, where there's a pathway, which is really strange. Now, this wasn't an astral projection I was trying, but over the last couple of days, I've been getting them. So, like with the night before, it wasn't in great detail, but I fell asleep again, and I just felt like really light, and I just felt like I was floating. It's kind of like a helium balloon, one of those birthday balloons you get full of helium, and it like rises up if you let it go. It's kind of like that. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I've done it live, so I've not edited it or anything. But yeah, if anyone's got any similar stories, let me know. I mean, I used to astral project accidentally when I was a lot younger. And the last really detailed one I had was probably about over a year ago. I did a separate video on it. But yeah, this one is slightly different. So where I normally used to astral project, I get myself in called lucid dreaming. So this is an easier way to astral project, because what you do is you train your mind to sort of lucid dream. So lucid dreaming, for you people that don't know, is that you're aware that you're dreaming. So this is how I discovered it. The first time it happened to me, and I'll go on to the next story, what happened a year ago, was when, let's go back about 8-9 years ago now. So when I was younger, not so much now, but when I was a lot younger, when I dreamed, I used to be aware that I was dreaming. And if I was in a dream, I knew I was dreaming, I could like wake myself up. So anyway, God, I must have been around. This must have been 10, 15 years ago. Anyway, I remember this like vividly as well, that I was dreaming and that I wanted to wake myself up. So this is when I was still living with my parents. This is when I was living with my parents. So I woke myself up, but instead of waking up in my bed, I was stood on my parents' landing. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but whenever you dream about your house or somewhere everything's always slightly different or out of place in the dream, because your mind doesn't remember 100% detail of everything. So even though when you dream of a place, it's always going to be slightly different. Things always going to kind of look out of place. So anyway, but when this happened to me, I stood on the landing and everything was like if I was physically standing there for real. And I remember standing on the landing, and I remember like I could see I was on the landing, but at the same time I was aware that my eyes were shut, and it felt like I was in two different places. That was in my bed, but yet at the same time I was stood on the landing. So anyway, I mean, at this sort of time, I kind of knew what out-of-body experiences were, but there wasn't as much research on the internet as there is today. So anyway, I panicked slightly, and I walked into the bathroom, and I felt myself float. So I rised up, and then I managed to go back down to the ground again. And then I tried to look in the mirror. There was a mirror like where my parents' bathroom was, and where it used to be. The bath used to sort of be here, and you had a sink there, and you had the mirror in front, like you do with sinks. I couldn't see a reflection, so I kind of panicked. So I naturally thought I need to go in my parents' room. So as I walked into my parents' room, my parents' dog at the time started barking. And then the next thing I knew, it was like an elastic band slapped me back. And then I woke up in bed, my parents' dog was barking. Now, I still remember that, and that was over like 15 years ago. So anyway, going on to what happened the second time this happened is when I forced it to happen. So I discovered after that incident that things happened to me as a child where I used to have dreams where I'd float in my bedroom, I could see myself asleep. You know, after that happened to me as an adult, I started to remember things that used to happen to me as a child. So I started researching astral projection, and that's how I got into it. So, you know, I started listening to the audio tapes that you can get where it plays at different frequencies. It never used to work with me. It used to get me into that like really relaxed states. But then I started to move or fidget, like, so, you know, it never made me astral project. I just got into the relaxation state. To that part where your body's like got pins and needles, and I slowly got to that vibration stage, they call it, but it never helped me astral project. So the way I used to find it was easier was the method was like basically you do what you call lucid dreaming. So it's making your mind aware as when you're dreaming that you're actually in a dream. So I thought if I know I'm dreaming, my body's in that relaxed state. So it'd be easier, like when it happened to me accidentally, it would be easier to like make myself astral project while I'm dreaming because my body is asleep and my mind is in that, well, if you want to call it different psyche state. So anyway, so a year ago, this happened. So I was dreaming, knew I was dreaming. So I thought I want to astral project. So in my dream, I went to sleep in my dream. But actually in the dream, I woke up instead of like astral projecting in my bedroom where I was, in my dream, I was in my parents'. So when I lay down, I astral projected to my parents. So I wasn't dreaming. I was suddenly in my parents' house, but I was there in the astral stage and I wasn't in my dream anymore. And I was in my old bedroom, and you know where it's recently been done as a guest bedroom now. And so my dream was like, you know, I went from a dream to astral projection, and it was totally different because it's how the room looks now. So anyway, I'm in my parents' house, and as I fall asleep in my dream, I'm aware that I've astral projected into my parents' house bedroom, my old bedroom, and I get up and walk around, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I go down the stairs and I see my dad getting ready for work. Obviously, he can't see me. I see my parents' dog. It sees me, comes up to me, and my dad at the time saying, "What are you looking at?" And anyway, so I walk through the house for a bit, and then I walk through the bedroom door, and I'm walking through my parents' neighborhood. And I thought I'd just be nosy and like see if I can go into like a neighbor's house and just be nosy. And I remember walking through a neighbor's house, and you know I could just see them having breakfast like you normally would. So I stayed there for a bit, and then I walk outside their front door again. And I remember researching. I don't know why I thought this, but someone said to me like when certain people astral projected, there's a few YouTubers who said like you know even like you can go through space and you can go through different dimensions and all sorts of different things. So anyway, I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to go into space, see if I can fly. Like so anyway, I go to rise up, start to fly towards the sky. Then I wake up again because of my alarm ready for work, which kind of cut it short, which was a bit annoying. But yeah, there's a guy called Ryan Cropper, and like he's an interesting YouTuber to look at because he goes to really in depth. You know, he's got quite sort of, I wouldn't say out there theories, but they're very different. And all his theories are like Buddhism, astral projection, and like parallel universes and things like that. So when I started listening to him, it started to remind me of, like, when I said, like, when sometimes when you do astral project, you'll be in your bedroom, but it's not your bedroom, things are slightly different, so that might, like, when he said, when he's done that, that he sometimes what you do is you astral project, but you end up astral projecting on a parallel universe. But he's worth looking at. So I was just sharing some stories. And anyway, if any of you got any similar stories, just comment. Hopefully this will be watched. But yeah, just share some stories. I'm gonna sort of try to try to astral project again and trying to get back into it. But it takes a lot of time and effort and stuff, like I said, and that normally when it happens to me, it happens accidental. But yeah, it's happened again. So hopefully I'll try and get myself back into it. But yeah, if anyone's got any stories or any theories, let me know. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I've done this live, so I've not edited it or anything. But yeah, just let us know if you've had any similar stories. Hopefully you've watched, and hopefully you've got some experiences out of it. Thank you. Bye.